Hey honors, how you guys doing? This is just sort of the wrap up video. Just talk about some things here at the end. Really not much, just sort of give you a little soapbox, some things to think about. I would always do this at the end of a class anyways, where I'd kind of get on soapbox and kind of preach a little bit. But it's kind of hard to do post-coronavirus or in this coronavirus sort of situation. This is my mask, just so you know. This is how I get around town. It looks like I'm robbing banks. Um, so, here's, I guess, the final thought that I would like to leave you guys with. Okay, I'm never good at these, and I think I have this great idea in my head, and then I start to talk, and I go, this is super weird. And it's really weird talking to an iPad right now. Okay, there's this guy named Kierkegaard. Here's my Kierkegaard book. It's super old. I don't know where I got this thing. But Kierkegaard is this guy back in the 1800s, kind of the existentialist before existentialists were cool. He talks about this idea that, so in your life you have a lot of decisions to make. And he sort of separates between sort of an active person and a passive person. The active person is the person who's actually alive. The passive person just exists. Like a chair exists, but it's not really alive. And he makes this separation based on this idea of choosing. So when a choice comes up, there's going to be an outcome. Like, I'll give you an example. If I give you a homework assignment, you have a choice as to whether to do it or not. So there is, I choose to do it, I choose not to do it, and I don't think about it. Those are your three choices. Choosing to do it and choosing not to do it, those would be in Kierkegaard sort of active. Like, you've actually made a choice. You have chosen how you will fit in the world. The passive is just sort of, I don't even think about it. I do this all the time. This is why I'm preaching as opposed to giving you modeling on this. And you don't really choose at all, and then things just sort of happen. There's going to be outcomes. Something's going to happen whether you choose or not. And all Kierkegaard is saying is that you have to actively make those choices. Ignore about homework. Think about like your life. Like, what do you want to do with your life? Who do you want to be? What gets really simple to do is to not think about that very much. So for example, you're in college and you've got classes to take and you've got A's to get, blah, 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 homework to get in, you got the paper due over here. So you're actively doing those things, and that's great. And then pretty soon, boom, it's senior year and you've graduated. And you haven't really sort of thought about what comes next. And so you say, well, I'll make those decisions after I graduate. And then you graduate and you're ready to make those decisions, but you just end up going home, you end up living in your parents' basement, blah, blah, blah. What I would encourage you to do, what I would hope that you got out of, a class like this, is just this. I take back the class like this. Hold off on that. What I would hope is that you would actively choose. That you would choose to live. Choose, and I say this really weird. Not choose to live, but choose to live in the way Kierkegaard talks about this. That you would make choices. That you will be the star of your own movie, that you would make sure that things aren't just sort of passing you by, that you are actually sort of grabbing a hold of the opportunities that are there. Coronavirus is a great example of this, where you can just sort of say, well, we got two months of lockdown, I'll do my schoolwork, and then that's kind of it. As opposed to, how can I be different at the end of these 2 months? How can I change? How can I grow? How can I sort of experience something? How can I develop something about myself, to understand better about who I am? All right, that's my Kierkegaard. But the way I want to sort of tie it into this class is that we talked about a whole lot of stuff in this class. Some of the stuff I know you probably thought was interesting. Some of the stuff you probably thought wasn't that interesting. And that is fantastic. That's part of this whole thing, is you figuring out what it is you care about, what you're passionate about. That's what school should be as well. That's what college should be, is figuring out what you're passionate about and embracing that, and doing that. But the worst thing that you can do, I think, in college is to not think about how you fit into the whole thing. You just accept the books that are coming, the assignments that are coming, and at the end you get out and you have this diploma, but you don't know how it fits you. So take some time during school, during this summer, and figure out what it is that you really care about. It's one of the reasons I want you guys to do this this sort of wrap-up reflection on the reflections, where you look back and you say, what is it that I really, really care about? What is it that that is uniquely something that I care about. Other people can care about other things. They can take care of those other problems in the world. What's the thing that I should be working on? Because it's the thing that I'm passionate about, the thing I have the ability to do something about, to invest my life in. That's what I would hope for you guys. I also hope that this class you got a few things, that you were exposed to some things that maybe you hadn't been before, that you've been able to think about some things differently. I hope that it ties with what Kennedy did last semester and what Dr. Martin's going to do in the fall. I hope that there's a bridge there in thinking about sort of how humanity has changed, how you are an inheritor of those sorts of things, that you've been exposed to some things like literature and music and art, and some things that maybe you haven't sort of thought that much about before, but maybe find, I'm a little interested, maybe I should do a little more looking into this, hit a museum up, go to a concert, read a book about something that you might not have thought that you would want to read a book about. Read poetry, read it differently, read the way that Dr. Peterson, or Dr. Tate Peterson had you think about that. Think about music in a way that Dr. Peterson had you think about. These are the things that we hope that you get out of a class like this, that you're exposed to new things and that you can place them together in how humanity has changed, but also in terms of how you fit into that story as well. Last thing, you guys were a great class. I really enjoyed you guys. I am super bummed that we did not get a chance to finish out this semester together. I had a lot of fun with you guys in class, and I feel like we were just getting to the point where, at least me, you guys already were comfortable with each other, but I was kind of getting to the point where I was finally comfortable and feeling like we could sort of, do some back and forth on some things, and then you get coronavirus, and now all you get is me staring at an iPad, and it's super creepy. If somebody walks by right now, they're calling the police because it's super weird. Anyways, I was just looking at somebody walking by, calling the police. So thank you guys. Thank you for the effort you put in this class. I hope that we can, I know that we may not see each other in class again, but I hope that you grab me and say hi, and as you're walking past at some point, or even come by my office and let's chit chat. I'd like to know, at some point later down the road, how this class may have helped you, how this class may have hurt you. I don't know, that'd be weird, but if that's the case, that's great. Not great, but let me know. Just because you're out of this class doesn't mean I don't want to be engaged with you and what you are becoming. So that's it. Have a great summer. Have a good finals week. That's it.